Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again it's time for the Texas Gun Vault Poll Question of the Week, a weekly vlog that I put out where I ask you, as my viewers and subscribers, about something that deals with guns, gun politics, current events, the news, or something fun like EDC that I want to get your thoughts and opinions on. And this week's question I've been waiting to ask for some time, because many people that watch my content and watch my channel are the "I will not comply, the ATF can't create law, and shall not be infringed" crowd. People that are very vocal that they will not follow the edicts and rule changes of the ATF. And as I always say, I support you 100%. The only thing I recommend is that you understand the possible ramifications if you do get caught defying these orders. But this is a decision that is up to you, and you need to be smart and know what the law is, what the law says, what the rules are, so you can make the best decision for yourself. But many times when I post a video on this channel, many times people are always saying, "I will not comply." It is an overwhelming majority of people that are screaming from the rooftops, "I will not comply. The ATF can't create law, shall not be infringed." So with me coming out with this question, I really wanted to put my pulse on you guys and see what you honestly think when it comes to all of the good news we've gotten recently about all of these various injunctions on things like the 80% receiver rule, the FRT triggers, the bump stocks, and yes, the pistol brace rule, which I think is kind of the big one that brings in the most people. But I was curious, now that we have all these injunctions, and although they are temporary, are people going out and now buying these things in mass quantities, going, now that it's legal, I'm going to take every opportunity I can to buy this? Or are people kind of holding back? Are they hesitant? Are they, "I will not comply and I am defiant until the end"? Or are they like, well, I'm going to take the smart approach and just, maybe if I buy one, it's going to be in cash and in person, or I'm just going to hold off and see what happens because I don't know what the future holds. So, with all that said, let's dive right in to this week's poll question. There has been a lot of news lately regarding injunctions on various items the ATF has been going after. Right now, we have injunctions against the enforcement on FRT triggers, bump stocks, 80% frames and receivers, as well as pistol braces. Now that the window has temporarily opened up on these again, are you in the market to acquire any of them while you can? And so I'm really asking these questions to find out the truth. Are all those people that are screaming from the rooftop, "shall not be infringed," are you now going out to buy this stuff because now you can? It is legal to do. Or are you saying one thing in public and in private doing something else? But that's what this is all about. I'm curious because I think the results of this poll are supposed to be, based on the comments of my videos, very overwhelming of, yes, I'm going to go out and buy all this stuff right now. But let's actually see what you guys said with this week's results. With 136 votes this week, we have, "Yes, they are now legal and I will get what I can." 15%. "Yes, but I am cautious and may only buy with cash and in person." 23%. "Maybe. I'm going to wait a little longer and see what happens." 39%. "No, it's a trap." 10%. And "something else, explain in the comments." 13%. And I have to be very honest with you, I'm very surprised by the results of this poll. I thought option one was going to win because overwhelmingly most people that comment on my videos and watch my channel are the "I will not comply, ATF can't create law, shall not be infringed" crowd. Well, it seems like they're saying one thing online, but when push comes to shove, they're making a completely different decision. I know it's really easy to get behind these computers and be keyboard warriors, "I won't comply," and so forth. And then when you actually have to make a decision, you're like, well, you know, this ATF pistol brace thing, I'm going to go ahead and hide this because I don't want to go to jail and I don't want to be fined $250,000. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But then you immediately go back to the computer, "I will not comply." Well, which is it? Are you a keyboard warrior? Or are you actually a person of action? I always challenge people. I say, if you truly are this passionate about this and you believe these laws are unconstitutional and the ATF can't create law, well, I want you, during the time that they are illegal, take your braced pistol, go out in front of an ATF office and protest. I will support you 100%. But most likely you're not going to do that because you're like, well, yeah, I say one thing online, but I guess the ATF really can create law because if I do that, I'm going to go to jail and I don't want to do that. And I don't really think many other gun owners are going to stand up for me. Now, I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong. I'm just saying, like always, that we need to fight these laws and these rules the smart way and the legal way and the civil way, like we are doing in the courts. Going online and just saying shall not be infringed isn't always going to benefit the Second Amendment community because we got to bring in those people from the center. But it really does seem like people's words and people's actions are completely different. Well, that's what it seems like from my perspective. Well, let's go through each one of these and talk about them, and I'll give you guys my personal opinions. First, we have yes, they are now legal, and I will get what I can. Only 15%. I actually think this is the time. If you want to go buy a braced pistol, this is the time to go do it because we don't really know what the future holds. Are these injunctions going to remain in effect? I already see many gun stores advertising these braced pistols again. I bet they couldn't wait for this to happen. So if you've been looking at that B&T or you've been looking at that MP5, now might be the time to get it without having to go through the whole pistol route. And then once you have it, if the injunction goes away, well, then you already have the gun, and then if it's overturned later, anyway, you have way more options. But I also understand that when you do that, you're filling out an ATF 4473 at your gun store, and now there's going to be a paper trail. But I thought so many of you guys would be rushing out right now, buying FRT triggers, buying bump stocks, buying 80%ers, and buying these pistol braces. But most people are like, I don't want to get in trouble. Now they're really watching. Man, words and actions seem to be something completely different. Then we have yes, but I am cautious and may only buy with cash and in person. Now, if I was going to vote on these polls, which I never do because I never want to skew the results, this is probably the one that I would go with. I've been telling people for a long time with companies like MasterCard and Visa tracking all of your purchases, man, just go get the cash and buy it that way. Buy it in person. If you live in a state where you can do a private sale without needing to do a 4473 and it's a legal transaction, maybe that's the way to go. If you're looking to buy an FRT, a bump stock, or a pistol brace right now and you live in a place where you can do that because these injunctions are in place, now might be the time to do that, but without a paper trail. And then don't go online and talk about it. You know, I'm a big fan in the gun world of don't ask, don't tell. I always talk about that with 922R compliance. People ask me all the time, hey, I got this B&T and I'm going to put a stock on it. I'm going to SBR. How do you put this gun together in a 922R compliant way? I'm like, don't ask, don't tell. I mean, you can go online and Google it. You can find parts, but no one's ever been charged with that as a standalone charge. So unless you plan on taking this gun and going to rob a bank and then get arrested with it, you don't got to worry about it. Generally, just don't ask, don't tell. I'm not going to ask you, don't ask me, and don't worry about it. And I think when it comes to a lot of these gray area items, just don't ask, don't tell. Buy things in cash. Do things the legal way, because buying things in cash and buying these pistol braces are completely legal. Just do it with cash. There's no paper trail. For me, that's just the smart way to do it, especially right now where you have all of these injunctions in place because it is completely legal. Then we have maybe I'm going to wait a little bit longer and see what happens. And I think this probably is the smartest choice because it doesn't look like we are going to prevail on some of these, but maybe others we're not going to. And I know a lot of people are like, man, right now the heat has been turned up on all these gray area items. I don't know if I want to get any more or potentially have that paper trail that I was talking about. So I think from a logical and rational standpoint, this might be the way to go. But of course, you might miss out. You might got some FOMO going, fear of missing out. Because what if these things go away and these injunctions go away and you're like, man, I should have bought that when I had the chance. Yeah, you missed out. But who knows? I think this is, from the legal standpoint, probably the one that makes the most sense. Then we have, no, it's a trap. And then it only got 10%. And I'm always surprised by how many people think everything is a trap. Some people even think buying a gun at a gun show and filling out a 4473 and doing the FBI NICS background check, it's a trap. Everything is a trap. I don't think it is. There are definitely some things that are traps and things you want to be careful about. But come on, we're we're talking about the government here. They are so incompetent. They can't keep the potholes filled and the stoplights running right. You really think they can have this master registry of firearms that is in the hundreds of millions and keep everything organized? Give me a break. They can't do any of that. But I understand everyone's always worried. They always see the boogeyman behind every blade of grass. Oh my gosh, it's that ATF agent peering over the fence and seeing what you have. Man, I don't want to live in fear. I'm not that paranoid, but man, there are a lot of gun owners out there that definitely are. And then we have something else explained in the comments, and that got 13%, which is actually more than the previous one of no, it's a trap, and that usually rarely happens in my videos. So that's what I think on all these, but let's see what you guys had to say with this week's top-rated comments. And the top-rated comment of the week comes from Master Failure. For some reason, a fool and his money are soon parted is running through my head while I am looking for deals. Yeah. Right now, you can go out and buy this stuff, so maybe you can find one on a good deal, especially buying from people that don't think these things are going to continue to be legal. You might be able to pick up a good deal, and then you got the item, and you don't have FOMO, the fear of missing out. Then we got Mr. Car Crazy, who said, I saw quite a few at the gun range yesterday, and that is definitely out of the ordinary for my range. I consider picking one up, but I'm not in any hurry. Don't really like instigating any conversation with ATF. And that brings up a good point. And I ask people this occasionally on my channel. Have you ever had an interaction with an ATF agent? I never personally have. I've gone to the range. The only time I've ever been asked for a tax stamp is at certain ranges if you're going to shoot with a silencer. But that doesn't even happen anymore. That was a long time ago. Now that silencers are such commonplace, no one really cares. I've never been asked for my paperwork. I've never encountered an ATF official in any capacity, especially at the range or when I have a firearm. How often does this really happen? Once again, I always say the ATF truly is more concerned with going out to the inner cities and tracking down gang members that have these Glocks, which is really than going to your local range with binoculars and going, who has a pistol brace? Let's go up and ask them. I really don't think that's happening because it's not a good way to make themselves ingratiated with the public. Going after citizens that might not even know about the rule, that doesn't look good for them. I don't know anyone that's ever been asked at the range. And remember, the only person that can legally ask you for a tax stamp is an ATF official. A local law enforcement cannot do it because legally it is a tax return, and only an authorized federal agent that is a revenue officer, which ATF officers are, can ask for them. That's the only people that legally can ask. And there's just not that many out there, and they're not going to your range to see who's shooting with a pistol brace. I promise you, they're just not doing that. Then we have Sonic 357, who says, these items may be legal, but what states do is they make them illegal there for taking away your Second Amendment rights. Personally, those states that do that should be taken to court. You know, one of the things that should be 100% universal when it comes to our laws is gun rights. Just like when it comes to driver's licenses. You know, every state recognizes every other state's driver's license. When it comes to this stuff and you have criminal penalties for breaking a law, a gun law, well, things need to be a little bit more universal. We need to have national reciprocity. But a lot of these states, when they lose in the courts, they go on these temper tantrums. And like you see in states like New Jersey and New York and California post-Bruin, these people are immature crybabies. Oh no, they lost in court. Blood's gonna run in the streets. Let's pass all these anti-gun measures just to get back at those lawful gun owners. And it's an absolute shame. And these people, as I said, are just simply immature and sore losers. Then we have Ted Baxter 5234, who says, stressed financially and otherwise with a new house build. I'd sure like to take advantage of the upcoming second brace amnesty and other things, but I can't at this moment. Wow. Well, I hope that in the future you can, and hopefully all of these injunctions are going to become permanent, so you won't even have to worry about that, and you'll be able to buy one in the future when you get the chance. And then finally, our final comment is from WinNon992, who says, I'm a FPC and a GOA member. FPC was mentioned in the lawsuit as the hold was for its members. I'm still holding off. The injunction could be lifted. We should know in the next few months. Yeah, we're going to find out. But one thing that's really sad about our judicial system is that it moves so slow. Yeah, when it comes to things like constitutional rights, these things need to be expedited. They really do. I understand the courts wanting to take their time, do their research, but we're talking about things that have been litigated for decades. What kind of research can they really do? But these courts, especially the anti-gun courts, slow walk these. And it's really a shame. So all in all, I am really surprised because what people are saying on my poll is very different than what they post in the comments. Shall not be infringed. And I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Man, a lot of keyboard warriors out there. I'm not calling anyone out or saying they're a bad person if they are. It just seems like people's words and actions are two separate things. And I don't think that looks good for us as a gun community. If you're going to say one thing, we'll follow through with some action. Show us some bravery. If the ATF can't create law, then go out and protest in front of an ATF office with an illegal firearm. That is now illegal because of one of their stupid rules. But most likely you're like, yeah, I guess the ATF kind of can create law. But I know and understand why people aren't doing that, because they're like, I want somebody else to fight for me. And if you do get arrested, well, who's going to come to your defense? Most gun owners that say, shall not be infringed, I won't comply, aren't the ones that are going to be paying for your legal bills. They're not going to come and help you. They're going to be like, well, oh boy, he got in trouble. I'm going to, once again, go hide this pistol brace. I don't want to be the next guy. But that's just the way the gun community is. And what I've noticed making gun content, there's a lot of people out there that are big talkers, but they're not going to want to walk the walk. But as I said, there's nothing wrong with being rational and reasonable and just saying, I'm going to wait and see how this all turns out. So that is the Texas Gun Vault poll question of the week. And if you would like to participate in next week's poll, please go to the community tab of my YouTube channel. I will post a link in the description and in the comment section. Go over there, see what next week's poll is about. Make sure to vote, comment, and like other people's comments so we can get the top rated comments of the week. So once again, a lot of you are being hesitant. You're going, well, I'm going to wait and see what happens. But I don't blame you. I think that's the smartest move. So once again, I can't wait to have a great conversation in the comment section below, and maybe some of these shall not be infringed and I won't comply crowd will explain in the comments why they're hesitant, why they're going to wait and see what happens. I thought they're not going to comply. So, as always, thanks for watching.